let's be clear, we couldn't even use the phrase economic war until very recently. And your own work really has been to socialize among smart people the notion that we're in an economic war. And so getting that right is essential. Look, Americans were sold the idea that globalism would make them wealthy. Well, globalism made somebody wealthy, some group wealthy. It made
Wall Street.
It made financiers on Wall Street wealthy. The American worker, he did not get wealthy over this. He became ever more poor. Abraham Lincoln was asked at the Wisconsin State Fair back in, I think, 1860, what was superior, capital or labor? Now, you talk to most Republicans, they would think, well, I wonder how he answered that. And you would think he might say capital, because capital creates jobs, et cetera. He said labor, surprisingly. He said free men working as laborers can make money and eventually start their own businesses. And that the government had to have a view of protecting labor. Labor as in the free labor of a free people so that they can make money. Globalism, their view is whatever helps Wall Street and finance and capital, that's good. The American worker, not so important. Donald Trump comes along and says, wait a minute, what about the American worker? How do we protect him? Who is going after him today? And it's a combination, as you've said, of both Wall Street and China. Let's move their labor, that of the American people, to China.
Yeah.
Let them get rich. And the American worker, on the other hand, is going to suffer. And that's what we see.
Yeah, and the threat is just, it's striking because it's your life, your livelihood, and your way of life. We're talking about all three of it. The life from the pharmaceutical drugs, your livelihood, whether you get to keep a job or whether you get to invest in the future. And it comes down to even way of life. I mean, I think Roy Jones, you all familiar with Roy Jones, Marriott employee. Roy, working away happily for Marriott in Nebraska. His job was to find on social media when positive things were said about Marriott. And a Tibetan group happened to stay at a Marriott, have a good experience, and they liked the fact that Marriott treated them well. So he's like, hey, my job is to like that tweet. And he did. He liked the tweet. He said, yay. Chinese Communist Party informed Marriott that they might lose some of their hotels in China if they didn't fire Roy Jones. He had no idea that he'd done something wrong. Social credit score happening right here in the United States, lost his job because he said something. You know, you see the same thing with LeBron James, you know, trying to protect the NBA and everything else. The idea is that China is going to constrict our way of life, which is free speech.